Hanford Dixon Show. I'm Gabriella Kreuz alongside the top dog. Little bit of anger in that bark today, Hanford, as, we're healing from this weekend of the Browns, a game we thought should have been a must-win, having the Giants at home, favored by a touchdown. It just kind of falls apart in every which way. What are your thoughts?
Oh, wait a minute now. You think you can get off that easy? You're a little glow to your face there. My understanding, you just got back from the woods. You've been camping all weekend.
I went on a camping trip in Michigan for a whole week. Didn't have a lot of service, but I'll tell you what, the last day when I did have the service, I was keeping up with the Browns, and I kind of wanted to go back to the woods.
Well, you should have listened to them. Let me tell you, yesterday was a strange day. I hate games like this. I mean, I just absolutely hate them because a team that we're supposed to beat because I know it just seemed like we're setting up for a loss. But let me just tell you some of the things that was happening yesterday. I had a very interesting day. Obviously, I get to the stadium really, really early, and then halftime, we had this football game with all the alumni. And I told him, I said, there's no way I'm playing in this game. I said, you can keep those shorts. You can keep well, I took the jersey home with me. But I said, I'm not playing in this game because I'm not going to go out there and pull a hamstring or quad or something like that. So I'm surprised none of the guys did. It was two teams. I think Josh Cribb was doing one team, and who did we have?
Did you get a little warm-up in for this? Or
huh?
Did you get a little proper warm-up in for this, I hope?
Yeah. Well, you know what I did? I was the commentator, so
okay.
That's what I did with the game. Joe Hayden was doing he was the other captain on the other side, and it was just funny watching those guys, man. I mean, you could tell it got really, really exciting because everybody wanted to win. Yeah. I mean, and then here's what was funny because it was so hot yesterday.
Yeah.
And I had a jacket on. And I'm telling you, I started to sweat, and it was just driving me absolutely crazy. And so then they wanted me. I had to stay down there until the end of the third quarter because they wanted me to go in the dog pound and get those guys going.
Do what you do
but
in the dog
game,
pound.
listen to this. The game was going so bad, and I guess the fans in the dog pound wasn't hearing any of this, so they called and they canceled that.
Ooh.
So I didn't have to.
I was going to say, because I was thinking about, it doesn't look like we've got any home field advantage right now. And I don't think it's the fans' fault. We're showing up and we're bringing it. But, I was wondering, having been a part of live audiences and crowds, there's probably a point where it's going to feel forced trying to do something like that. So it makes sense that maybe they canceled on it.
Well, I'll tell you this. I wasn't going up there without security yesterday. and for me to want to go in the dog, for me to think that I need security to go in the dog pound, that's a whole nother thing. But I was surprised they canceled. Real quick, the Guardians.
Yeah,
I mean, are you excited about that?
We're not afraid of a little baseball on this show just because Hanford is such a big fan. And, of course, we are pushing Cleveland sports in this town. It's not all Brownies. We're all in this together. And the fact of the matter is, where the Browns leave us maybe empty-handed, shortchanged, or hurting, the Guardians pick us up. They clinch into the postseason and the AL Central Division, and we've got a possibility of clinching a bye for the postseason. And wow, it's just exciting stuff. Steven Kwan should be activated soon. He had a little back pain, but gang's all here.
I am really, really excited about those guys. Happy for them. Just want to say congratulations, go Guards. And, boy, I guarantee you those tickets are going to go really, really fast. And also, Gap, we have to say congratulations, getting back to the Browns, we have to say congratulations to a couple of guys yesterday. We had a lot of the alumni was in town because it was alumni weekend. And two guys went into the Legends Club yesterday. And one of the guys that went in was Jim Donovan,
yes,
who very rarely a player and not goes in, but Jim Donovan went in, and
Phil Dawson.
Phil Dawson was the other one. And we have to say this about Jim. We wish him well because our understanding is his cancer is back and is back really aggressively on him. So he's him and his family are in our prayers. And
Jimmy, you're in our thoughts and prayers, and we're pulling for him. I don't know if you did you see the video of Phil calling him? to tell him he was in?
No, I didn't see that.
The Browns posted a really heartwarming video of Jimmy answering live, and it's Phil letting him know that, I'm going in, but you are too, buddy. And I know we came in together, and I think it was 92.
Yeah, it was 92.
It was a really sweet video.
And you know what I do? I always walk up to that into the press room where they're usually what Jim is doing the game, and normally I would say hi to him and check on him just to say hi, but that's it. That's our week. Now we got to really.
We got to get into business.
Yes.
And we are going to have our special guest back. Let's take a break first. We'll bring back a familiar face and a familiar rant right after this on the Hanford Dixon Show. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show as we dive into what we saw over the weekend with the Browns. We don't know enough adjectives to explain it. We just know what we feel inside, and it's a little devastating. The Giants' defense recorded 17 quarterback hits against Deshaun Watson. That's tied for the second most in a game since '99, Hanford. And believe it or not, the Cowboys also recorded 17 hits against the Browns in Week 1. And we got some more stats for you coming. Deshaun Watson, how many hits you think through 3 games? How many sacks?
Look, can I just say a lot of them? I know you have the number right there, but I could just tell you it's a lot of them.
42 hits, 16 sacks for Deshaun this season. And I know our producer had a little fun fact about it. I think that's the most quarterback hits since Brandon Weeden and Bernie Kosar in '92. Shout out to Pat, our producer, for that one. I mean, that's the only thing we have to go off of is our data at this point, and not a whole lot positive to look at across the board. We're going to bring in...
Hey.
Yes.
I got to tell you something. I got to warn you, though, before you bring him in.
Oh, boy.
I just got to let you know that he is not in a good mood. I mean, not at all. So with that, you go ahead and do your thing, but I just had to warn you there now.
I know there might be a little more creativity on this show today, so be prepared. But we are bringing in a big play co-owner... He's Angry Ken today. He's been Angry Ken. I mean, when it comes to Brown season, he's got his persona. Thanks for joining us.
I've had colonoscopies that were more pleasant than that game yesterday. What was that? That was the most ridiculous display of professional football I may have seen. I mean, the offense wasn't ready to go. The defense wasn't ready to go. The kicker missed a field goal. Even the flyby guy, who I gave a high mark to last week, he missed his cue. He came through before the national anthem was even over. Everything was off yesterday. Hanford, come on.
You know what I find really, really crazy about this ball game? We started off with so much promise. I mean, we really did. I mean, we kicked the ball off to them. We were able to create a turnover. And then before you know it, I think 11 seconds went by and we were up 7-0 in this ball game. And then all of a sudden, you're exactly right. Just weird stuff started happening. This football team, man, I don't know if they started off taking this team lightly or something or whatever the reason was, but you're right, Ken. We just didn't play well at all yesterday.
It felt like a dance with 2 left feet just across the board because obviously we could have seen more from Deshaun, but the offensive line didn't look like they were doing their thing. Tillman had that weird drop on 4th down. Newsom's weird roughing the passer situation.
It was
like, what were we? Everyone was just a little not.
It was off. It was so awful that all I can think about going right now too is the report card. Okay, so I'm going to ask you right now. I want to know. You all have your cards ready to go. What was your grade on the offense? Here's mine. F.
I guess we don't need these.
D.
I'm going to give him a D.
All right. What did they do that was good?
D for Amari Cooper. He brought him up one. And individually, Amari Cooper, let's give him a little credit.
I'll give Amari a little love there because that toe tap, and he had a couple of them, and a little bit of chemistry with Deshaun Watson doesn't hurt that I see developing. But
and
Hanford,
it's not his fault he can't catch that last.
But Hanford, come on. No playing in the preseason, and now we're starting to say they're building chemistry. Should they have been playing in the preseason?
Well, there's no question they should have been playing the preseason, and you guys know how I feel about this because the preseason is very, very important because of you talking about that chemistry. That's where you create that chemistry. That's where you get everybody on the same page. And for some reason, I don't know, this trend is just going toward the league where they feel like they don't have to play in preseason in order to get ready for the regular season. And you could see what's happening right now. They're not ready to go.
But let me tell you something. I'm buzzing you right now. You know who played in the preseason? Kansas City Chiefs played in the preseason. What's their record? Last time I checked, producer Patrick, 3-0.
3-0.
Okay,
3-0.
guys, listen, really quick. Since Deshaun was sacked 8 times yesterday, how do we fix the offensive line?
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem with, and you're exactly right. I mean, that offensive line is a problem. I got a big question mark right here about that offensive line. And the offensive line wasn't playing well.
Is it our players or our coaching, or what are we thinking?
Well, I think it's both, but it's mostly the coaching. I'm telling you, since Callahan left this team, that offensive line has been a mess. I mean, just a mess.
Offensive line, F.
Yeah.
F. Hanford, there was gaps yesterday. And this is where, look, I'm going to go to the Deshaun Watson card, and I don't know what he's looking at because, correct me if I'm wrong, the quarterback gets to the line of scrimmage. He sees the defenders moving. He can change some things around, right?
Yes, he can.
All right, so we've got guys lined up. It's an open gap. He snaps the ball, calls for the ball. Our linemen move to the right. It's a wide open run to the quarterback. And I'm like, come on, Deshaun, how do you not see that? You know, he sees the blitzer coming into the A gap, B gap, doesn't change the play. Boom, sack.
Well, sometimes that responsibility is on him. But a lot of the time, too, is on that offensive line because you got guys like Petonio in the center who will give little signals to say which way the line is going to slide and how they're going to protect. So a lot of the times is on those guys themselves. But also, I agree with you. The quarterback have to take a big part of the blame for this too, because it's his responsibility too to know where the blitzer is coming from and know when he knows where the blitzer is coming from, he has got to get rid of the football. He's got to get rid of it fast.
Hanford, did they blitz yesterday?
Oh, did they blitz?
Did Deshaun get rid of the ball fast?
Hey. See, you tried to trap me on this one over here. I know what you're doing. You're trying to trap me.
Well, we couldn't run a trap play, so I might as well trap Hanford.
But here's the thing about them, and I think the coaches have to take some of the blame for this too, because what happened was the coaches had never seen this football team, the New York Giants, blitz as many times as they blitzed as they did us. I'm telling you, they came right after us from the start, and they kept coming.
Hanford.
They kept coming, and they kept coming. And I'm telling it's not just on the coaches. It's on the players too.
Come
now.
on. I told you last week. I told you I played at a high level.
Yes, you did.
Eighth grade. Come on. All right.
That's
There's such a
slightly
thing.
above. That's slightly above my flag football.
There's something called adjustments. Okay, I get it. First series, second series, maybe a quarter, maybe a half. We were still getting beat on the blitz in the fourth quarter.
But that's what I said. The coaches didn't make the adjustment.
Okay.
They have to make the adjustment.
All right, let's go here. Stefanski. What's your grade on Stefanski?
I am going to give him.
I'm a nice person. This is hard for me.
Go ahead.
What?
What you get?
C.
I'm going to give him a C too.
C.
I'm going to give him a C.
F minus.
No.
F minus.
Now, some of his assistant coaches, that's when I go to the D.
Well,
I'm going to go to the D.
What is our offensive game plan? There's no offensive game plan. Bring Van Pelt back. I mean, we brought Dorsey in, and my friends in Buffalo were, thank goodness we got rid of Dorsey. And that I don't see any continuity there. We've got guys, all three guys on the left side of the field. There's no check down receiver. Deshaun Watson, happy feet. I mean, I remember the play action pass last year with Joe Flacco. If you got blitzers coming, does play action? Is that something you run? I don't think Deshaun can run a play action.
Yeah, and here's the thing, and it'll tell you all the numbers too, especially in the first half. I mean, check out these numbers, guys. We were 8. He was 8 for 11, which is nothing, but he had a total of 67 yards. But we had a net 41 total yards in the first half. I mean, a net 41 total yards. How the hell are we going to win a football game with 41 net yards?
No, you know what, too? And I'm going to give Jerome Ford a little bit of credit here because he was running his tail off. And I know there's a lot of people in that fourth quarter when we had a chance to come back are blaming him for that fumble. I'm going to tell you, on the Angry Ken big screen, I'm going to bring out my prop. We got Deshaun Watson dropping back in the shotgun. That snap comes back. Watch it in slow motion. The ball goes through his hands. He bobbles it. Then he hands off to Jerome Ford, and he fumbles it. Now, come on. I'm going to blame that on Deshaun Watson, Hanford.
No,
Hanford,
no,
I don't know. What do you
no. Gab, you can't. You can't blame that on Ford. I mean, because if you watch it, if you go back and watch it again,
you're agreeing with me.
Listen
You're
to me.
saying you said you can't blame it on Ford.
No. You can't blame it on Watson. Is what I'm saying. Because when you go back and you watch the film, you will see where Watson put the ball in what we call the pocket, and that's his pocket. And a running back Ford will be the first one to tell you when that ball get in his pocket. He has got to handle that football. He's got to secure that football, and then he's got to run. Now it wasn't Watson's responsibility is to put that ball in the pocket, which he did. Ken.
Okay, Hanford.
He did.
All right, let me ask you this: Does Jerome Ford start moving at the? Does he start
this all
moving?
stinks.
Does he start moving at the snap of the ball?
Hey, every time we do a show, you guys make me turn red. You guys make me turn red. And you know, again,
Jerome,
Pat, you know how hard that is for me to turn red. Come on.
All right, F on that
Yeah,
one right there. Okay, that's an F minus. Jerome Ford. Jerome Ford. Does he
man.
start moving at the snap of the ball?
In that particular,
Yeah. Oh, he does. I'll answer for you.
you're trying to trap me
Okay,
again.
he
He's
starts
trying to
moving
trap
it.
you.
He starts moving it, and now he's moving. He's going. He's got his hands. I agree with the pocket. Deshaun's fumbling like this. I don't know. You're telling me that doesn't have anything to do with it. And you know what? I get Jerome Ford's going to take the blame. You know why? Because if he doesn't, he's not going to get the ball anymore.
Hold on. First of all, listen to this. Here's what you have to know. You have to know what the play was. The play call. The play was an RPO. Now I know you only was in the you played till the 8th grade, but do you know what an RPO is?
Yeah, when it comes to the Cleveland Browns, rip people off with a game like yesterday. That's what RPO is. That's what RPO is. You're not going to convince me.
You know what? I also rip people off.
That's close enough.
We waited all year for this, and I'm being ripped off.
That's close enough.
Listen, guys, we got to take a break. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon show right
my
after this.
goodness.
Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. We have got some more Browns recapping to do, brought to you by Northeast Factory Direct. They've got furniture, kitchen cabinets, hot tubs, mattresses, and more for way less than what you'll find at those fancy, expensive retail stores. You can also shop online at northeastfactorydirect.com or visit any of their stores in Cleveland, Euclid, Macedonia, or North Canton. And don't forget to ask about that Hanford Dixon bonus.
You know what we got to do, you and I? We have to we want people to see this little recliner.
The recliner.
Yeah, so you and I are gonna go over there, and we're gonna take some pictures of me and you, or you sitting in the recliner, and then we can show it to everybody. So.
And I'm sure some people might even want to kick back, take a snooze for a couple quarters, depending on which game they're watching.
Yeah,
Well,
Northeast.
I'll tell you what, you would definitely fall asleep watching that game yesterday. I can tell you that. And I've sat in that recliner. It's one heck of a comfortable recliner. But I want to get back to what we were talking about. All right, you're trying to tell me that this isn't on Deshaun Watson. First of all, I think the experiment's over. Andrew Berry, time put Jameis Winston in. I'll take my chances with Jameis. I think he can run the offense. And case in point, Deshaun's scrambling around out there. And I know you were saying, it's Deshaun Watson of old, and he's got the arrow and all this stuff. You know what? I don't want my quarterback running around. And I hit a couple good runs yesterday. But you know what gets me? My quarterback needs to make that play. 4th and 1 with 3 minutes to go. The game on the line, their 30-yard line. He drops back the pass. He's got Jordan Akins on the right side on a quick out. He looks at him, doesn't throw the ball, Hanford, and I think we got it up on the screen. Try and tell me that wasn't the play.
Well, let me tell you this.
And I know what RPO is.
And I hope, I know you know what RPO is. I just had to test your memory there. But let me tell you this. I hope Dawson is not listening to this, because we say to a kicker, you have one job to do, and that's kick the ball. Getting back to your Jameis Winston, let me tell you something. This guy, we brought him in for one play, didn't we? One play we put him in. What was his job on that one play? To pick up that first down.
Okay.
Did he pick up the first down?
You know why? The offensive
Did he pick up the first? I didn't ask you why.
The offensive line missed the block. They didn't know where they were going.
We didn't ask him why, did we, Gab? Did he pick up the first down?
You know
he
what?
Did not.
On the replay, I think he did. He got a bad call by the ref.
and no, I'm just kidding when I say that about Jameis, because we love this guy. Normally, I tell you, 98% of the time when he's running that quarterback sneak, he usually get that first down. But I hear what you're saying about Deshaun.
Well,
I really do.
Okay, and I got to call out, Gab. So, those people on social media, by the way, follow Big Play on Twitter, whatever you call it, X now, Facebook, you call it Meta. I don't know what it is with social media, but there's this guy on social media. I don't know if I get a shot of this. His name is Leroy Bickerstaff. Leroy tweeting out during the game and last night that Deshaun is playing phenomenal football. There's a rumor that this is a burner account. I didn't even know what a burner account was, but I found out is when somebody professes to be somebody else. Hey, Leroy, you're welcome in here. I want to see this Leroy Bickerstaff. Anybody out there that can find us. By the way, you want this shirt? It's a hot seller on the BigPlay.com merchandise page. Hanford, who's Leroy Bickerstaff?
Well, here's the funny part. Wouldn't it be funny if you say you want to see him if Deshaun walks through that door? Wouldn't that be funny?
I welcome Deshaun to come in here. And a matter of fact, that takes us to the Angry Ken anger meter right here. By Garage Beer. Last week we got it down to a 7. This week there is no question. I can't even find the meter here. When you're doing that, make sure you're talking into your mic. Okay, do it. Let's start from that part again. Whenever you're ready, go ahead. All right, so I'm bringing in the Angry Ken Garage Beer anger meter. Last week was a 7. This week we're 10. And there is nothing that I could say that was good about that game. Like I said, I've had more pleasant colonoscopies. What do you say? Anger meter for you, Hanford. Pass this down to Hanford. I want to see what he's going to put on the anger meter, Gab. Pass this down to Hanford.
Here you go, bud.
I'm pretty upset. I am pretty upset. I would say yesterday it was between a 7 and an 8. I'm going to say a 9 yesterday. I'm going to say a 9.
A 9.
There we go. I'm going to say a 9.
All right, here's my grading scale on Hanford and the anger meter. F minus. How does it? 9. How could you be any more angry than we are right now,
but
Hanford?
You know the thing about it though, and these guys, these players, I was listening to some of the press conferences that they gave today. They know that they got to watch this film. They got to look at this thing, and they have to put it behind them right away because they know they didn't play well.
You know what? You know what I think they were watching last night, Hanford? That dance that JOK led in the end zone. That was it was more choreographed than the offense was yesterday. And what was so terrible, it wasn't even a legitimate play. We got a penalty. Hanford, come on.
But, it's funny because a lot of the players today, they have these little Gab and I have a little.
We got
our little.
I don't want to see that.
We got our little.
I'm old school.
We got our little handshake that we.
Well, we don't want to see the dances and the handshakes when, or things didn't go our way or we got one little thing to go.
Greg Newsome, one of the nicest guys on the defense, I can tell you. He's a great guy. He's a friend of Big Play. Greg, you know what? He's throwing up his hands. He's celebrating when the ball was overthrown. You got burned all day long, and the ball's overthrown, and you're up. But like you had something to do with it.
He's one of the guys that does all those dances. Go ahead, Gab. I'm sorry.
All right, guys, that's true. I kind of do want to get to our DBs really quick because we're supposed to have one of the best units in the NFL. How did they let a rookie wide receiver have 8 catches, 78 yards, and 2 touchdowns? That actually, Neighbors became the youngest receiver to ever score 2 touchdowns in a game.
Yeah, they like this kid. I mean, they really like this rookie, and he's becoming a fabulous receiver. He's a guy, as you mentioned, that they go to a lot. And I thought we was going to play a lot better against this guy. I thought we were really going to shut him down because when you look at it, I would say we really have supposedly 4 shutdown corners. Talking about Denzel Ward on one side, talking about Emerson on the other side.
MJ struggled yesterday, Hanford.
And then you got Cam Mitchell, and also I'm not even gonna mention Newsom's name because I know you just called him out.
But you know what? And look, I get it. MJ had a tough game yesterday, but I don't know. I didn't see safety help. I don't know. It was just a mess.
Well, what we do and the style that we play, Ken, is you already know this, Gab, you know this, that we play a lot of man-to-man coverage. And when we play, because, see, you have a lot of teams come out today, they play in what they call 2-high coverage, where they have the safeties. Yeah, they have the safeties in the back, making sure that they don't catch any deep patterns, and they play zone underneath. We don't play that coverage.
You know what we played yesterday? Cover 0.
Yeah.
Cover nobody.
Yeah.
Let them catch it. Cover 0.
We play, Ken, Gab, you guys know we play man-to-man coverage, and you're exactly right when you talked about Emerson. I don't know what was the problem with him yesterday. I do know what the problem was, and I will be the first one to help him fix this. I know he's listening. Head position. What I mean by head position is if you're playing man-to-man, if that receiver goes out, and he runs a dig pattern, meaning going to the inside, you have to take your head position, go straight to him. Okay, you don't look back at the football until you could touch him. What happened was they caught him peeping a couple times because as soon as the guy took the break, he went back to the quarterback, and the guy came outside of him, and you see how far he was open.
He was open. You know what too, and you can't give away your hip position. I'll tell you what, Hanford.
You play some corner. Watch out, now. Watch out.
All right, maybe it was beyond 8th grade. Okay,
watch out.
Go check the Bowling Green Hall of Fame. Okay.
Okay. You hear him now? He's giving us some receipts, guys.
Okay, we'll have to do our homework there. Hey, did you guys like Kevin Stefanski going for the 2-point conversion?
Oh, you know what? Analytics says to do that, but Hanford, come on, what's your take on that? Should they have gone for 2?
I mean,
No.
it worked, but ultimately
it worked,
didn't matter
but
since we didn't score.
I'm not a big analytics guy. I am not.
At what point do we need them to show us?
Okay. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Gab, you start with what did you think of that?
Okay, all right.
And Ken, you take it again, and then you shoot it to me. Okay. How much time we got left in this one?
We got about 3 minutes.
Okay, all right. What did you just talk about before that?
We were doing the DBs.
Yeah, but okay. I just
0 covers.
And then you talked about analytics.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
No, you said just go right into the
I'm
question.
going into the
of what was
question,
the-
but I
okay.
thought you said something I went off of, but I might have just asked it cold, so I'll just ask it cold. All right. Hey, what did you guys think about Kevin Stefanski going for the 2-point conversion? I mean, it ultimately worked, but didn't matter because we didn't score again.
F. You know what? This analytics business, I get it. It worked. But if we don't make it there, we got problems. Hanford, what do you think?
Well, I'm with you on that because I'm an old school guy, and I just hate it. I just don't like where there's a computer or someone telling me.
Yeah, are we overly reliant on analytics?
The
Like,
most
what do we-
analytics
what
team
do
in
we
the
think?
NFL. There's more analytics than anyone.
We have a guy in there. I think it's Debacle or whatever his name is. What's his name?
Podesta lives in California. I don't know if he's even here on game day.
He is our guy. He's our analytics guy. He's the guy that's pretty much telling us what to do and what not to do. But I don't like it. I think you got to stick to old school football. Let's just play the game the way the game used to be played, and I think we'd be okay. But I didn't like it. I don't care. I agree with you, Gab. We made it, but I didn't like it.
All right. Angry Ken, anything else you'd like to?
Well, what about Amari Cooper?
Well, we do have a bright spot, do we not?
Yeah,
Amari Cooper.
But let me. Can I talk about him real quick?
Yeah.
I know he had caught a lot of heat the first 2 games, but here's the way I looked at it. I wasn't worried about him because one thing I know, Amari Cooper's a good player, and I know he was due for a big game. I looked at it when I played, maybe had a bad game or 2 2 bad games, I knew that it was just sooner or later I was just getting ready to just explode. Are you yawning on me over there?
No.
You know,
I thought you were yawning on me,
She's-
but I
she's
knew I was due. I knew I was due, Ken, for a big game, and that's why I wasn't worried about him. And yesterday he had a big game.
No,
two,
you know
two
what?
touchdowns.
And I got to tell you, I love having Amari Cooper
Yeah.
on our team. He's those toe taps. That's spectacular. But is it just me, or does his helmet look odd? It looks a little off. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm going to say this before we take a break, Gab. You know, you talked about all the dancing and all that stuff. If you watch it, Amari Cooper, when he makes a big play, when he does something that's really like a touchdown or something, he just gets up, hands the ball to the official, and just go about his way.
Well, you know what I got to say. After last week's show, it was spectacular. I thought I saw you and Gab doing some kind of dance. I just handed the microphone to the producer and walked out.
Hey, on that note, we're going to take one more break. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. All of our shenanigans continuing. We just had on Angry Ken, and we are bringing on our Lipton hard tea, iced hard tea. Our hard hit of the game is right now, and we've got to bring in our big play co-owner, Hanford. Welcome, Ken.
Well, thanks. Great to be here, everybody. And I don't know who the angry guy was, but he left this over here on the desk. And I don't know. He's screaming out in the hall about something.
He told me to tell you not to touch that too. So,
Trust me,
so you better leave
pretty angry.
that alone. If
got
you don't want to get in trouble, you better
I
leave that
know.
alone.
Because we got some hard hits.
Yes,
So let's
Hanford-
get to it.
Hanford, what did you think was the hardest hit of the game?
Oh, are you guys kidding me?
Or maybe not in the Browns game. We can go
Come on.
around.
No, I gotta go straight to the Browns game. Did you guys see the first play, the kickoff? Did you see that big hit? Tony Brown. Is it Tony Brown? It's Tony Brown, yeah. Number 38 just put a whack on that guy. First of all, I was scared. I thought that, because today they'll call a penalty.
Yeah.
But Gab,
Oh, I know what you're
where did
Yeah,
he
yeah,
go to
We knew that was
school?
coming. We
Where
knew
did
that
he
was
go?
coming from
Where
you,
did he
Hanford.
go? Tell him, Gab.
Roll Tide.
Alabama, baby. That's the only way you hit him like that. That roll tide. Don't you say one word.
Well, he didn't make it on Ohio State, and so he enrolled over in Alabama. Good for him.
Ah! Okay, actually, we've got another visual for you, fellas. I'm going outside of the Browns here. The Falcons. All right, we've got this pick of the no-call interference. Brian Cook bear hugs the Falcons. Kyle Pitts, and we've got a still screen of it. Pat Scott right here.
That was a hard hit
And
to
that
the
was hard.
fans of the Falcons.
Yes,
Gab.
yes.
Hanford, come on. The refs are so on the take for the Chiefs this year. 3-0. Taylor Swift in the stands. It's in Atlanta, and they should have won the game.
And how can you not call that?
How can you not?
I mean, how can you not call that? I mean, that's blatant. I mean, it's right there. He's pass interference. So you're right, Gab.
Hanford, with the way you covered,
Yeah.
you'd be in the Hall of Fame if you got away with that.
And I'm still
Should have
trying.
been, should have been, by
and
the
I'm
way.
still trying to get there.
Yeah.
Still trying to get there. With the right
Okay.
partner?
Well, Ken, what do you?
Well, I guess we're going to stay in Atlanta. So you all know what the Ring of Honor is, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty nice.
All right. It's a great honor.
Yep.
And you know who picks who goes into the Ring of Honor? And in this case, in Atlanta, the owner picks who goes into the Ring of Honor. And you know who he had this year
Who?
inducted? Himself, Mr. Arthur Blank. Hard-hitting Arthur Blank inducted himself. I can only picture what it sounded like in front of the fans. Hi, I'm Arthur Blank, and I'd like to introduce the individual that's going into the Ring of Honor, Mr. Arthur, blank.
Hey.
How do you induct yourself?
Wait a minute now. You have to be kidding me. Now you're telling me that Arthur put himself in the ring of
So I got to tell you, you know who called a meeting first? You know who called a meeting?
No way.
You know who called a meeting first thing this morning for the entire staff? Jimmy Haslam. Better not happen, Jimmy. Better not happen.
But I could tell you, I could say this. he is the owner. If he want to put himself in there,
Come on.
he's allowed to.
That's a hard knock if I've ever seen one. That's all I got.
All right, gang, let's take another break. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. It's time for our headlines around the AFC North, brought to you by Garage Beer. And we'll start with Browns at Raiders and our look ahead, if you will, our preview. Guys, what do we need to do to get back on the horse and get this dub on the road?
Well, it's not going to get any easier for us. I mean, obviously, what we need to do is put this one behind us. I mean, just this game is done, over with. I mean, we looked at the tape. We know the things that we did wrong. Let's correct those mistakes, and let's try to move on to this. This is going to be a very interesting game because, obviously, I don't know why I keep wanting to say the Los Angeles Raiders, but Las Vegas, Las Vegas.
But,
yeah.
You know, I'm going to tell you an interesting stat. The Browns have not won on Pacific time in like 20 years.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
So-
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so now we're going to Las Vegas. Gardner Minshew, and I don't know, last I heard he was living in a van. The guy lives in I don't know, did you know, Gab? The guy, he lives in a van.
Yes.
He's a different cat,
Yeah.
that's
Feels
for sure.
like this set up to a punchline or,
But-
or a Chris Farley throwback.
Yeah, it's true,
Man.
but he's not.
But
he's not playing bad.
No, not playing bad.
But you know what the thing is too, and here's the thing that really scares me about this game, because the way our offensive line is playing right now, I mean, let me tell you, they have you guys know they have a guy over there named Max Crosby.
He's tough.
I'm telling you, this guy, and he's just a dog.
Oh, he's a dog too. You know what?
mean-
He doesn't just hit you; he punishes you.
Yeah.
He hits hard.
He is a dog. I kind of like it. I kind of like this football team where they're headed.
Okay.
Started with their head coach, and again, I'll tell you, I guarantee you, they're not going to take these guys lightly because they
I'm gonna make
and
a
we
predict-
can't and we can't do this. I'll say this real quick: we can't play the way we normally play on the road, because if we do, we'll come back 2-2.
You know, that Raiders mystique, I remember in your day, they'd hit you in the mouth. I'm going to predict right now, we're going to get a roughing the passer on Deshaun Watson by Crosby. Early in the game, he's going to send a message.
Yeah, I said 2-2. I mean 1-3. We haven't won but one game. I don't know why I think we've won 2 games.
The Raiders
But
have-
I agree with you on that, because I'm telling you, man, he is some. Go ahead, Gap.
I was just going to say the Raiders' run game is practically non-existent. I want to know how the Browns' defense can capitalize on that. They've got 153 total rushing yards through 3 weeks.
Well, what we have to do, guys, we have to be dominant on defense. I mean, we really, really have to dominate. And just like you said, the running game, we need to stop the running game, and we definitely need to stop the passing game. Boy, they have pretty good wide receivers.
They got some wide receivers too. But you know what, Gab, you're right. I need to see JOK and Jordan Hicks rushing that line of scrimmage, making the tackles. I don't want to see anybody choreograph the dancing in the end zone. Stick to the game plan. Stop the running game.
Well,
And you, like you said, the receivers are good too.
yeah, I'm just worried about, and you know, my radar is going up. I'm worried about Miles, because obviously he's had the foot injury, and now you double that with the lower leg injury, and he had an MRI, and supposedly thing came back.
Breaking news.
Yeah, he had
Breaking
an
news.
MRI,
It's
so
day-to-day.
he's day-to-day guy.
Yeah.
So I'm a little worried about him.
So, Hanford, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You know, this team looks a little distracted. You know, the choreographed. I saw before the game yesterday, right before kickoff, Myles Garrett doing an interview with the broadcasters. I don't like that. They're going to Las Vegas. Is there a chance that these guys are distracted being in Las Vegas, Hanford?
Well, let's just say this: I wouldn't take them out there early. You know, let's just say this: I would make sure they're there on a Saturday and not that Friday. But a lot of coaches like to take their team out on a Friday. But no, I think this team has enough veteran players on it where leaders,
Okay,
shall
who
I
steps
say?
up? Who's got to be the leader on the road this week?
I would say a guy like Myles Garrett have to be one of those leaders. Deshaun,
But Miles is kind of a quiet guy.
but he, you know, if you listen to him talk more and more these days, he'll assume that leadership role, and I think he has done that. Deshaun, Joe Patonio is another one that's been around for a long time that has to be a leader on this football team.
I think our DBs have something to prove this week.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see them step up. Vegas does have some weapons in the pass game. Devontae Adams.
No, Devontae Adams, look out.
But let me tell you something. What he did, he still got Humphreys from the Ravens, having nightmares because I'm telling you, this guy, he can play. He can play and he can run and he can get open. So you're exactly right. So that's gonna be interesting to see how that whole scenario works itself out. So they do have to prove themselves because we let a rookie, come into our house and abuse us. But I thought it got better in the second half. I thought we played a lot better. But you're right. Devontae Adams is a monster wide receiver. And this quarterback, like you said, he's a different guy, but he's playing pretty well.
He's a gritty guy. And by the way, you know who I think is going to lead the team? I think Jameis Winston's going to be leading that team this week. I don't think it's too much longer we're going to see before we see Jameis out there.
Well, I'm not ready to give up on Deshaun.
I know.
I still like Deshaun, and I think he still should be. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy. We have him as a backup that we can go to because I think he's more than capable. Well, he's proved that he's more than capable of playing and playing well. But I'm happy he's on this football team. I could just tell you that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go around the AFC North there. We've covered our Brownies here. Ravens. They got the dub over the Cowboys. 19 fourth quarter.
It wasn't easy,
points.
Hanford. Were you sweating bullets there? I know that you're rooting for the Ravens.
Yeah, I am because my you guys know how tight Ozzy and I are. Yeah, well, I talked to him today about that whole thing, and actually they had this game until the end.
19 unanswered fourth quarter points.
19 unanswered fourth quarter points, and that's a lot of points for them. But they were able to hold them off. 28-25 was the final score.
Dallas.
In Dallas. Now, can you imagine Jerry Jones sitting up there? You talking about an owner that would put himself in.
I was going to say, he's having a staff meeting this morning, too. Hey, I like that Ring of Honor idea.
I think I'm going to put myself in. No one would say anything about that. But you're right. The Ravens are a team that we really have to watch out for as far as the AFC North because I think they're going to be right there toward the end. So that's why we
always
can't.
They're playing the Bills Sunday
That's
night
why we have to play well. Yeah.
By the way, next week, you're right. Against the Bills, I like that next week. That's a good game to watch.
Well, what about those? I know you're going to tell me about this other team I'm still upset about. I don't know how they're undefeated right now. Those
I'll tell you how they're undefeated.
Steelers.
Good coaching. Good coaching. You know
20-10 versus
Justin
the Chargers.
Fields. Look what a difference it makes to have a coach that knows how to use his talent and a game plan. I'm worried about the Steelers. 3-0. Come on.
I can tell you guys.
And he's playing better, by the way.
He's playing really, really good.
Ran for a touchdown, passed for a touchdown yesterday.
It'll be Steelers at Colts this coming week.
Well, did you see that 56-yard touchdown pass he threw to his kid Austin? I mean, Fields is it's really going to be hard for Tomlin and to remove this guy from the starting quarterback position.
Hanford, where did he go to school? Ohio State. O-H-I-O.
Hey man, we don't say that. We don't say that OHIO on this show. You know you've heard me say it over and over again. Ohio State should be in the SEC with the big boys, the Alabama, the Georgias, the Tennessees.
A little tangent here. Is it any truth they try to do A-L-A and then they just didn't know how to spell it? All right, go on. Yeah.
Oh, we didn't even get to the Bengals real quick, and then a break. Bengals home tonight, Monday Night Football.
Joe
Commanders.
Burrows. By the way, I think we got to get a picture up. Is there any chance you're related to Joe? I think this is Joe Burrow, right? Damn it, Joe Burrow, especially
You've
with
never
that big
seen Joe Burrow and Gab Kreuz in the same.
Hey, now that I think about it, was Joe Burrow on a camping trip?
Yeah. Because she's just smiling about that.
Oh,
you guys are silly. Trip. Okay, and then next week the Bengals are at the Panthers. So.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Andy Dalton.
Yeah, he's playing well.
He led them to a victory yesterday.
He is playing well. So that AFC North again, I know some teams of the Bengals, Ravens just came back and won. Pittsburgh is 3-0. So it's going to be interesting. But I think in the end, by the time the dust is clear, that AFC North is going to be one of the strongest divisions in the National Football League.
Yes, sir. We're going to take another break. Thanks for watching the Hanford Dixon Show. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show as we wind down our show. Ken has got our Survivor game for us once again this week. Go ahead, give everybody the
All right,
rundown.
quick reminder, you know how Survivor works. You pick a team, you can only use them once. If your team loses, that's strike one, strike two, strike three, you're out. The one of us, including our producer, Patrick, the one that's left standing at the end not only survives with you get $1,000 to the charity of their choice. Quick recap. I had the Browns last week. That's strike two. Gab had the 49ers against the Rams. That seemed like a sure thing. Strike two for her. Hanford claimed he came in here and won, but he turns out as we replayed, he had the Buccaneers. Strike one.
You know what I thought was funny, guys? You guys had to play it back for me to believe that I actually lost. Right.
I give you credit for the confidence. And then producer Patrick, he had the Titans over the Packers and lost on that one, strike one. So, okay, this week.
You know what? This is just another reason analytics is not working out.
Analytics does not work. Okay, this week, who you got, Gab?
Okay. Who did I say I was gonna do again?
I think you were looking
Chiefs.
at the.
I'm doing the Chiefs.
Oh, you
Chiefs and Chargers.
You know what? That's not fair. How you gonna pick the Chiefs when you know they're 3-0 right now? So you think they're just gonna win?
Yeah, I know. Like this is scary because like
You
every
might be
time
wiped out.
every time I pick a sure winner, I know.
All right. So you have 2 strikes.
I do. Wait, okay, I'm scared. Should I do the Cowboys?
I'm
I'm doing the Cowboys. I'm doing the Cowboys. I'm doing the Cowboys.
No, I would stick with the Chiefs.
No, Cowboys, Giants. There's no way.
Oh, great. She takes my pick. Go ahead, Hanford.
I am torn here, but I am possibly going to. I'm looking at the Broncos and the Jets game. Denver is going to New York to play the Jets, and
Aaron Rodgers.
I am going to go with the home team, the New York Jets, to beat the Broncos. Pat, did you get that?
Oh, yeah, I'm all over it.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, let me say it again. I'm going with the Broncos to beat the Jets.
Stevie Nicks at
So
quarterback.
I'm giving it to you twice. Once with the Jets and once with the Broncos, so we could go either way. You could pick either one of those when we come back to it, okay? But no, I'm going with the Jets to beat the
By
Broncos.
the way, Broncos fans thought that Nicks was the big answer in the preseason lining up. Well, he turned into Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I
Patrick.
had. I'm taking the Jets actually in that game. That was my pick before you said it.
Oh!
I think Nathaniel Hackett coming back to Denver Bronco. I think they're going to stomp the Broncos.
So you and
just
I
don't
on
see
the same
I see the
page.
Jets. Yep, I see the
Okay,
Jets winning that
okay.
game.
3 weeks in a row now. Gab, I tell the pick in the break, and then she ends up going with it. But then she throws me under the bus last week. It says every time she goes with what I'm doing, we lose. I had the Cowboys before anybody had them. I'm going Cowboys. I know I'm on the brink, but Gab, if we go down
together. Well, the reason last week I separated was because I didn't have full faith in your pick anymore because we copied each other for the first week of this.
Guys, I hate to end this on a sad note, but one of the legends of football died this weekend. Mercury Morris, who played
for the Dolphins. Great guy.
Yeah.
I think he was on that undefeated team too, wasn't
Yes.
he? One of the things, Hanford, I remember about him, legendary. Back in the disco era, you probably had a pair of those shoes where you go with the big high heels. Big heels.
Yeah.
He came to a game wearing goldfish swimming in the heels of his shoes. Mercury Morris, he's a character. He's going to be missed.
Gab, I think you'll be the first one to say that our prayers and thoughts goes out to his family.
Yeah, and on the goldfish shoes, that's a good note to go out on, as we always talking about fashion.
Yeah.
On this
You're
show.
pretty dazzy there. I like that
Hey,
jersey there.
New crew neck. Thanks
Yeah.
a lot. Thanks for watching the Hanford Dixon Show. We'll be back next week. Thanks.
Some people say bye-bye.
Oh, no.
All right.